Thank you. Well, new at noon, Don Stephen McDougal has accepted a plea deal for life in prison without the possibility of parole.
McDougal is the man who killed 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham in Livingston in February of last year. KPRC-2 reporter Gage Goulding and photojournalist Jason Youngblood were the only journalists in the courtroom. Gage, walk us through what happened.
Yeah, this was a relatively quick court proceeding. This was a plea agreement that took both prosecutors and the family by surprise, really only coming up in the last couple of days here. Family telling me that this plea agreement was presented by McDougal, and what he agreed to is life in prison without the opportunity of parole, admitting for the first time publicly for the death and brutal murder of 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. I'm looking at some of my notes here. He was still shackled in his handcuffs and feet shackled the entire time while he was in the courtroom, arriving a little bit before 9 o'clock, and by 9:20 this was over. The state actually dismissing one count of capital murder, McDougal pleading guilty to the second count. The state saying that they had additional evidence that they did not disclose to the defense that could have made their case even stronger. The state also dismissing 4 other cases, the state saying that there is no other penalty in those cases that could ever be stronger than what they're currently imposing, what McDougal has agreed to, life in prison without parole. But for the first time today, we heard from some of the family members. We heard from Audrii's father, Josh, for the first time ever, in what is called a victim impact statement. After the sentencing, after the plea agreement was reached, those family members had the opportunity to address McDougal for the first time. Remember, this is the first time they've seen him since McDougal, who lived at the grandparents' house. So it's been almost a year since they've seen McDougal. The entire time, I'll note, McDougal not once looking over at the family and saying any words to them. The only words out of his mouth, actually, I'll say, were responses to the judge. So really just yes, no, I do, I agree answers. Nothing to the family whatsoever, but the family did not hold back. Audrii's dad, as I'm looking at my notes here, said she was the smartest and sweetest child, was his first child, and I quote, "She gave my family purpose, and you stole that from us. I hope you have a very short life sentence." And very emotional words from Audrii's grandmother. She said, "You took away the life of our little angel. Nothing will ever bring her back, and that is your fault." Audrii's grandfather also with very heavy words, saying, "May you burn in the eternity in the flames of hell." They spoke with us just moments after hearing that McDougal was going to be spending the rest of his life in prison. I want to play a little bit of that interview for you now.
Our granddaughter was the second victim of his because of the loophole in the law that allowed him not to register as a sex offender. And if we can help one other child avoid a predator, we are going to be working to close that loophole. That's all we can do to honor Audrii.
And I asked, will you ever be able to forgive McDougal? They said if they do, it will be for them, not for him. That law that they're working to create is called Audrii's Law, and that is the next chapter. This door closes. This is a sense of closure for the family, but now they have work to do to try and ensure that no other family endures the pain that they have. There's also talk about the death penalty in this case. According to the prosecutor, there was some question about mental stability and competency. He was competent to stand trial. There was no point that McDougal was not competent to stand trial. However, there are state laws that make it difficult to try somebody for a death penalty in this case. The prosecutor saying that this is an all-around, good win, and this is the best outcome that they could have. Again, the family saying that this is closure and a step in the right direction. I'm live in Polk County. Gage Goulding, KPRC-2 News.
Gage, thank you.